York's classic rock, Q1043.
Peter Frampton is here with us on Q104.3. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning. How are you, Jim?
I'm fine, and I'm very excited about the release next month of your first original album in 16 years, Carry the Light. And a crucial part of the production of this album was played by your son, Julian.
Yeah, Julian. Julian and I started writing songs for that album before 16 years ago. So we decided to just do it again. And I had worked on this material for this album, and there is enough for almost for another album. So we're ahead of the game, which is wonderful. But he came and visited and said, "Why don't we finish this song of mine? Because I'm having a bit of a problem." And then guess what? We finished them all, and I realized what he was because in this room where I'm sitting is basically where we did all the overdubbing and guitar solos and all that stuff, vocals. And he just said, I just said, "Look, you're impressing me so much with your production and your ideas." I said, "You're a producer." And it was just bingo. And coupled with Chuck Ainley, my favorite engineer in the country and the world, the three of us co-produced Carry the Light.
Is it at all intimidating for the son to be co-writing and producing the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame dad?
That's a question for him, but we have such a great relationship, and he will criticize me and I will criticize him, and we have a phenomenal working relationship. And sometimes we go with Julian's ideas and sometimes we go with mine, and sometimes we make it, an idea together, but the working relationship is phenomenal. So also I get to pull him out of Los Angeles and have him here for like 3 weeks at a time.
Well, you've been in Nashville for a long time now.
Yes. This is my second trip here. I was here in the 90s for only a short 4 years, maybe 5 years. But then I came back in 2012, something like that. So yeah, I've been here 14 years now.
And there has traditionally been, going way decades back, but there is a real vibrant musical community there.
Yes, that's what I love about this place, is the studios, the songwriters, the musicians. That's it. It's just when we went to make this record, I can get the pick of the cream of the crop players that I enjoy working with, and they're right here, or they'll fly in to do it. So it's an amazing musical base here, and I have really thrived.
Well, besides the incredible local players in Nashville, you also recruited, quite a few superstars in their own right to collaborate on your new album.
Yes. It started with, I think, her for Isla Marauder, and Julian said, "Don't you think it would be great to have her?" Because we know her, with a dot and an E and an R and a dot. We know her, Gabby, her name is. Mm-hmm. So we know her as Gabby. And we met at an airport in Los Angeles, and I played together with her at an event. And so I just asked her, "Would you be up for playing on a track?" She said, "Absolutely." So we exchanged numbers, and then she did it, which was wonderful. Obviously, the track that's coming out soon, Lines at the Gate, it's a protest song, obviously, from the lyrics, and we just thought, what guitarist would be best for a protest song? Oh,
One from a
Tom,
band called yeah,
hello.
one from a band called Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah,
Well, you also
get
have
some rage in there.
you also have Sheryl Crow on the album,
Yes,
Graham Nash. Now, I've only heard the one song that we're going to play in just a moment
right.
on the radio here, but I do know people who've heard other tracks from the album, and I was told this morning that the track featuring Graham Nash, well, it was described as beautiful.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's that was one of the older songs that I wrote. It was basically the first song I wrote that I said, this is a good song for me. I didn't do bad on this one. And so that was I always like to get one song that has my approval as okay, they've all got to be this good now,
Mhm.
whether they be slow, fast, mid-tempo, whatever. Um, so yeah, that set the standard basically.
Well, Peter, before there was a Crosby, Stills, and Nash in England, you were there listening to the radio. You weren't well known. You weren't famous. You were just a music fan. Did you love the
Right.
Hollies?
Oh my God. Yes, of course. And the Herd, which was the band that I was in when I was 17, we played with the Hollies, and that's when I met Alan Clark and well, all of them, but and Graham. So that was 67.
Uh huh.
So I've known Graham since then, and he was the first. He invited me over to his apartment in his flat in Hampstead, I think at the time in London, and he said, "I've got the reel to reel of Sergeant Pepper in stereo," and we
Whoa.
all went, "Wow!" The only thing is, I've only got one pair of headphones, so we've got to both listen separately. I'll never forget that. So, yeah. So I've known Graham ever since I played on CSN stuff, and we've been friends for donkey's years.
Okay, well, Tom Morello, you had the idea that he would be the perfect guitarist.
Yeah, actually, I have to give the quote. Julian was responsible for bringing that name up. That's why he kept coming up with these great ideas, and I said, "Oh my God, yeah, this." We knew we wanted Tom on the record somewhere because I'd asked him, and he'd said I'd love to. So it was just finding the right track, and when we came up with Lions at the Gate, it was obvious.
Peter Frampton is here with us this morning. Okay, the great guitar part at the end. Is that you and Tom
Mhm.
going back and forth, kind of like uh, Don Felder and Joe Walsh going back and forth on Hotel California, or or the Beatles on the Abbey Road medley? I mean, you're
Yes, it's a battle, guitar battle that I had played my lead part in this room and sent it to Tom, and he just matched me note for note, played in harmony with me. And then when I got it back, I realized there was one part that I better up my game there. So I did redo one part in three-quarters of the way through just to answer him because he was getting really fantastic playing going there. So yeah, and then at the end he harmonizes with me and what a mind. Yeah, he definitely was clued into this track, that's for sure.
that was of course line.
Wonderful playing. He's such a great guy and an amazing player. And I support him 100% in his endeavors politically.
Well, that was Lines at the Gate from the new album Carry the Light by Peter Frampton, which will be released next month. By the way, the cover artwork is pretty good too.
Well, thank you. Yes. Yes, that's Keith Brogdon. He's someone I've used for years now, and I just love his inspiration for when I said we sent him, I think we sent him Buried Treasure, which was the first track released, and and said basically, we would like the album is called Carry the Light.
Hmm.
And So he said, he thought for a while, called me back and said, sometimes it's good to be obtuse. He said, with a title, he said, this one you have to be blatant. So I want a light bulb on the cover. So he sent me a little pencil drawing of the guy holding the lamp, the light, and the bulb. And I just we Julian and I just was so thrilled with the idea. And then there's this guy walking through the desert, carrying this huge light bulb. And it's basically he's carrying wisdom. That's the way we see carry the light, by learning from our past, our elders, learning from our own past, and trying to remember history so we don't make the same mistakes we've made before. Um, it's not working,
But speaking of
but we're
history,
trying for that.
but speaking of history, it's 2026. 1976 was half a century ago. In 1976, the world was turned on to Frampton Comes Alive. That is not only one of the top-selling albums of all time, it's the top-selling live performance album ever recorded in all of history. You have always been not just a great recording artist, but a very dynamic live stage performer. Is there some time in the future when we can expect to see you on the stage again?
Well, we're working on that. Yes, we're working on some dates.
And
So
you're able to. You're feeling good.
I feel good. Yes, I do.
Okay, because a lot of people, people worry about you, Peter.
I know. And I appreciate that. My IBM, my muscle disease is progressing, but so far so good. And I'm still playing, and obviously I'll always be able to sing, but it affects my hands. And my legs. So that's the thing I'm dealing with. But it's all good.
All
It's all
right.
good.
Well, Peter Frampton, the album is Carry the Light. It will be released on May 15th. And we thank you so much for taking time to speak with us this morning.
You're very, very welcome.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.